Shalom. We continue the 25 basic principles of Jewish child rearing based on the book Our Family, Our Strength. We are now in principle number 17. Like everything, there are guidelines and laws and principles how we do things. Certainly, how do we reprimand? Now, of course, reprimand is an integral part of educating, especially when a child is growing up and exploring and sometimes doing wrong things, sometimes doing things that require reprimand, that require sanction. There are ways to reprimand. If we want this reprimand to be taken seriously, then we've got to do it in a very, very specific manner. So I find that there are 5 major conditions to effective reprimand. And a good way of remembering them are the 5 C's. Each word begins with a C. I'll tell you what they are and we'll discuss them. Do it calmly, calm, concise, clear, current, and with compassion. Now let's discuss them all. First one, when you're reprimanding a child, never reprimand him when you're angry. If you do it from anger, the child will focus on the anger rather than on the content of the reprimand. Something happened now, and he walks in, and the parent is flaming angry, and from a great position of anger, he will probably exaggerate the reprimand. He'll probably create tremendous resentment. He'll move the focus away from the real issue. So therefore, when you're reprimanding, the most important thing is do it calmly. Now, if we're incapable of calm reprimand on the spot, then go and cool down. Maybe you've got a reprimand the next day. Maybe go up to the child and says, that was something very bad that you did. It needs to be discussed. I'm not in a position or a mind frame to discuss it now. Let's talk later. Now, we shouldn't prolong it too long because the poor child's sitting and cowering and waiting what's going to come. But we certainly can't afford to reprimand from a situation of anger, because anger will completely take the focus into a different place. That's the first principle. We must be calm when we reprimand. Number 2 is concise. There's no purpose of going into long, repetitive harangues and we over and over again saying the same thing. The child will begin to feel, well, they're really exaggerating. So while the child's listening, he's hearing the same thing repeated over and over again, different tones, different levels, and he'll feel that they really, again, here's an exaggeration. This is way beyond what was demanded over here. So the reprimand must be concise. Zero in exactly what is the issue, and don't go into all sorts of other issues. The next thing is clear. It's got to be clear. Don't be vague. If you want to tell the child, you want to remedy something in his behavior, you want to fix up something, and you want to leave no room for misinterpretation, say things as clear as possible. That was totally unacceptable what you did. And spell it out in short terms. Be absolutely precise and be absolutely clear as to what is the issue that you're reprimanding about, and keep it that way. Keep it concise, and as we said before, when this is done in a clear, in a calm manner, then the person's given a thought and is able to assemble his thoughts and come in and give a very concise reprimand. It's similar, it goes hand in hand with concise. When you're concise, then usually you are clear. But make sure that the child knows exactly what's bothering us, knows exactly what is the issue he needs to remedy. So let's be very clear about things. Now the next thing is current. Something happened and now the child requires a reprimand. We need to try and adjust his behavior in some manner. So let's focus on the event at hand. Don't dig up past history, because then the child thinks, what are they talking about the past? The child will feel the parents being unfair. Why are you talking about something I did a year ago? When you come to a child and say, yes, you always are doing this, always, the child will think to himself, no, I don't always do this. Why are they talking about the past? The event at hand, true, there's a pattern, it's been systematic, but there's no point in digging into deep, deep history which is should have been forgotten a long time ago. True, a parent can say, this is repeating itself and therefore I need to reprimand you. But it's no need to dwell too long on the history. Let's talk about the current event at hand. And the last thing is, Chazal tell us, our rabbis tell us that a person can bring close with the one hand and if necessary, punish with the other hand. But you've got to do it in such a manner where the child feels that there's compassion. If a child feels that there's chas v'shalom, hatred, or there's anger, so one must show affection even and understanding and say, my lovely boy, my sweet boy, you've done this and this, you really shouldn't have done that. You're a very fine lad and we love you very much, but this is totally unacceptable behavior. So you're showing the compassion. Let the child know in no uncertain terms that even if he perpetrated some very great misdemeanor, he did something very bad, we still love him. There's still got to be that love. And I'm sanctioning you from a perspective of love. And therefore, this negative behavior hasn't inherently affected our relationship. True, your behavior was very negative, but the relationship still remains a loving relationship of a parent to a child, and therefore hasn't affected. So therefore, to summarize again, the 5 C's: calm, concise, clear, current, and with compassion.